And you're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, welcome everybody. This is the community meeting, the last one of August 2018, August 29th. Jumping right into the agenda and notes, the first item to probably discuss is secrets and config maps. Marcin sponsored this pull request. If you'd like to tell us a little bit about it, sir.
Yeah, so I created pull request which introduced config maps and secrets into for KubeVirt, and the way how it works is really simple because user first has to create the secrets and config maps manually, and then we can add the config secrets and config map to virtual machine instance by just adding name of this secrets and map and config in spec YAML. So this is really simple without any additional features, just reference by name. And I will send a pull request here on chat. Let me do it. So what I would expect now is just someone could review this and see if the solution is correct. I mean, maybe few words how it works, like, because from the config map and secrets, I'm creating ISO image, and then this ISO image is attached to the virtual machine, and user has to mount this ISO inside virtual machines by himself manually.
One question: what file system is it using to represent, I guess, the config map and secret?
What do you mean? I mean, this is ISO 9.6. I don't remember basically what was exactly.
Okay, maybe I'm confused then.
That is the file system, ISO 9660.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
Now, I know that Roman had a question offline that we should address here, and that was, how does this tie in, how does this interact or I just suddenly blanked. the CloudInit, sorry, that we use for configuring disks. Similarly, how is this distinct from that?
Can you hear me now?
Since I'm also here, I can clarify the question a little bit more, which I had. If you like. Yeah, I was just wondering, for instance, CloudInit itself detects the disk by having this special label. And I just wondered, is there also something where I can easily identify in my own CloudInit script what to mount to get the data?
So for now, the current implementation of this, it's not related at all to CloudInit, and user has to figure out everything by himself. So it's just independent feature. It's not related at all to CloudInit.
Okay.
Actually, one note here, I think we can do something smart. I think we can give a defined file system label to the ISO file system, and then it's very easy to mount it, because then you can effectively mount label equals config map name, for example, to /myconfig map, and then it's very easy to mount it, at least.
Yeah, that was a question, to use the same label mechanism to identify.
Yeah. We can add that to the pull request.
Doesn't even have to be there right now. I was just wondering if that was considered. Sure.
All right, typing and capturing all that. Are there any more thoughts in terms of that? All right, moving on to, I think the next thing we have to probably cover is the block Pvcs, which is distinct from file system persistent volume claims. This has come up before. but Mark Sluter has taken the baton, so I'll let him speak to it.
Yeah, the problem is that we want to boot virtual machines from block devices. For getting the right environment, I added to our development cluster the block volume feature gates to the kubeVirt API server and controller. Then I configured local volumes with a persistent volume and persistent volume claim. And then I configure a virtual machine instance to use this persistent volume claim. And then, as Stu already mentioned, he already started working on it in the KubeVirt code base, and that works then without any change from my side. What I'm currently busy with is that I need to configure OpenShift also with the feature gates. And I have a problem with this because there was a change with OpenShift Ansible, how to configure the kubeVirt feature gates. I have this working now after getting feedback on a issue on the repository, but I don't get it working for the API server and controller yet. So that is what I'm busy with, figuring out how to configure this. And after that, I need some code cleanup, adding tests, but other than that, it's going fine.
Awesome. I really look forward to this feature. It's been a long-standing wish list item for us.
Yep.
And I/O threads. This is something we spoke about, I can't remember if last week or the week before, but we had a bit of a discussion about the implementation. That has been reworked, a new pull request. I left the old one open, but also created pull request 1480, which basically takes a different approach. In the original, I had basically exposed a thread count for I/O threads, which was generally viewed as confusing and could lead to too much user error in terms of over allocation of threads that just weren't needed or bogging down the CPU. So the new approach is to simply offer a Boolean which turns on I/O threads, gives you one thread for everything, and then for every additional disk that uses the dedicated I/O threads flag in its settings, that would add an additional I/O thread that would be allocated directly for that disk device. There was a little confusion on the pull request that I haven't had a chance to address. That was addressing that particular issue, but that's the intention, is that we would, rather than give an overall number, which isn't terribly helpful to a user, just give the actual knobs that would make more sense at a higher level. Any thoughts? Okay, next, the Virt IO RNG. This is a feature that's been a long time in coming, but I think we're pretty close. Did you want to speak to that, Peter?
Yes, basically the feature is done. What you can do is you can just add the spec RNG section to your devices in domain, and the feature will be activated. It will just mount Virt IO RNG to your host. And if you're running RHEL 7.1 plus, nothing more you have to do. The thing is, the feature is still waiting to be merged. We have all approvals, we have CI passing, sort of. The OpenShift is timing out, but not due to the Virt IO RNG. And the user guide is already merged. And that's it, the feature is waiting.
So we basically need somebody to push the button and get it in.
Yes, that's correct.
Awesome. We will do that. Thank you. And also, Peter, mounting the guest agent ISO, if you'd like to talk about that.
Yes, so I've written a design document for how would we tackle the importing ISO image for guest agents on Windows guest machines. It's in planning stage, so feel free to comment. I'm actually now collecting the feedback before we get anything started. So feel free to comment. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any other items that we would like to bring up for the agenda and notes? All right, open floor. Is there anything at a general discussion level, Sebastian, for instance, that we'd like to talk about?
Yes, can you hear me? So I just going to put the, that's it. Oh. That is the network diagram that the team was working on. It explained how KubeVirt it's going to work, all the layers from how to configure the physical, how to configure the host itself, up to the how the virtual machine inside KubeVirt will get the interface. I would like to get some more comments. So the file will be ready to be published into the KubeVirt dev team. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So you need some comments on this?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Are there any other things we need to discuss? Going once, going twice. All right, well, thank you, everybody. It's been a productive week, and hopefully we'll have another.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.